Have you ever stopped to realize just how much of our lives we spend mentally living in a future that hasn't even happened yet? I mean, we live in this hyper-driven world that constantly tells us we have to control our time, control our success, and just obsessively manage every single outcome. But we're going through some timeless Buddhist wisdom in this explainer today, and it reveals this absolutely fascinating paradox. It argues that our modern obsession with controlling the future is the exact thing that actively destroys the peace of our present moment. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how anxiety ruins the now, and, much more importantly, how we can finally break free from it. So here is the absolute core of the whole thing. Anxiety literally cannot exist in the present moment. It lives entirely in the mind's projections. The fundamental teaching here is that the stuff we are so terrified of, it's not actually real. It's just a movie playing in the future. When you're feeling anxious, your mind is basically racing ahead, building up these massive stories, and dragging you into this completely fabricated world of what-ifs. But if you stop and look at right here, right now, in this exact breath, you're okay. And setting the stakes here is just so crucial. Anxiety is a projection. It's an illusion that's constantly pulling you away from the only place where life actually exists. We often try to justify our worry, right? We tell ourselves it's a protective mechanism. But the sources actually describe worry as a cage made of shadows. We convince ourselves that if we just worry enough, if we just meticulously plan for every single worst-case scenario, we'll somehow be safe. But this cage of shadows, it really just keeps you stuck. It literally steals away your current strength. You're trading away your present calm to pay for a future disaster that doesn't even exist yet. Okay, so what does the shadow cage actually do to us in real life? Well, worry has this incredibly quiet way of shrinking your world without you even noticing. It starts out super subtle, but before you know it, we shrink our goals because the uncertainty just feels way too heavy. We shrink our voice, we hold back because we're terrified of being judged. We even shrink our hearts, pulling away from relationships because our anxiety whispers that it's just safer not to risk getting hurt. You see, worry doesn't protect you at all, it restricts you. It literally makes your physical and emotional life smaller. So why on earth do we do this to ourselves? The texts point to this incredibly common psychological trap that we can call the novelist's mind. Our human mind is essentially a novelist that never, ever stops writing. It's constantly scripting these vividly painted what-ifs, warning us of disasters and heartbreaks that live only in our thoughts. I mean, think about it. How many times have you mentally rehearsed a massive blowout argument while just standing in the shower? Or braced yourself for a difficult conversation that ended up being totally fine? The novelist mind completely distorts our scale of reality. It takes these distant, imagined fears and brings them so close that our bodies start physically reacting to them as if they are absolute facts happening right this second. To break this cycle, you need a pattern interrupt. The next time that inner novelist starts writing a full-blown tragedy, ask yourself this stark question. Is this actually happening, or is this just a thought? The teaching suggests that just because a thought pops into your head does not mean it deserves your belief. So the next time you find yourself spiraling, stop. Ground yourself. Separate the physical reality of the present moment from the wild imagination of your fears. You'll almost always find that you are fighting shadows, not substance. Which leads us to this really profound Buddhist concept, the mind as soil. The crucial takeaway here is that your mind does not judge what you plant in it. It acts simply as soil. It will grow whatever seeds you sow. If you plant seeds of fear, anxiety, and panic, your mind is going to dutifully help them grow. When you fear something deeply, like losing a job or a relationship, that fear seeps right into your actions. You hesitate, you withdraw, and completely unconsciously, you end up breathing life into the exact outcome you were dreading. You really are the gardener of your own inner landscape. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference between control and surrender. Picture holding a puddle of water in your hand. When you make a clenched fist, trying desperately to trap the water, it just slips away faster, right? It creates friction. But when you hold an open palm, the water stays. It invites a natural flow. In our modern lives, we are constantly taught that strength means gripping tighter, pushing harder, forcing outcomes. But as we see here, gripping tighter just makes the water disappear. Because ultimately, control and faith are like two travelers heading in totally opposite directions. You simply cannot hold a white-knuckle grip on the steering wheel of life and still claim that you trust the journey. Trying to micromanage every little detail of your day is actually driven by a quiet underlying panic. It's this subtle form of fear that essentially says to the universe, I don't trust life's natural intelligence to take care of me. The more tightly you grip control, the further you drift away from trust.
Now, we need to redefine a word that gets a pretty bad rap: surrender. In the Buddhist context outlined in our sources, surrender is absolutely not a weakness. It's not throwing your hands up and just giving up on life. No, it is described as a sacred release. It is the incredibly empowering art of doing your part, taking action, doing the hard work, and then stepping back with deep trust. It's releasing that toxic obsession with exactly how things must turn out. In this kind of surrender, you aren't losing your power. You're actually discovering it for the first time.
All right, so how do we actually put this into practice? The teachings break this down into what they call the practice of non-interference. Step 1, you plant the seed with intention. That means you do the work, you make the plan, you have the tough conversation. Step 2, you nurture and tend to it. You don't just walk away and ignore it. You stay present. But Step 3 is the hardest part. You have to trust the unseen roots to grow without yanking on the plant. If you constantly pull a seed out of the dirt just to check if it's growing, you're gonna kill it. Real growth absolutely requires trusting those unseen roots. So take a second and ask yourself honestly, where are you interfering too much? Think about your life right now. Is there a conversation you keep endlessly overanalyzing? A decision you are trying to force because you're just too afraid to wait? Or maybe a relationship you are suffocating with constant worry? We often trick ourselves into believing that if we aren't constantly correcting and micromanaging every detail, everything will just collapse. But seriously ask yourself, what would happen if you loosened your grip? The sources provide this absolutely stunning metaphor to bring this idea to life. Think of holding a fragile butterfly. If you tightened your fingers out of fear that it might fly away, you're gonna crush it. Your fear actively destroys the very thing you wanted to keep. But if you just relax and open your palm, it has room to breathe. It might stay, or it might fly free naturally, but it remains whole. Your goals, your career, your relationships, they all need room to breathe. The more space you allow them, the more they can actually flourish. So what is the ultimate antidote presented in these teachings? It's mindfulness. It is defined here as the gentle act of returning to the now. Every single time you purposefully bring your attention back to the present moment, you actively weaken anxiety's grip on you. Because in this quiet second, right here now, there is nothing chasing you. The massive disasters we brace ourselves for rarely arrive the way we imagined. And honestly, a lot of times they don't arrive at all. Mindfulness reminds us that we only ever have to deal with what is happening right now. Imagine a smooth, effortlessly flowing stream. Your worry, your overwhelming need for control, your constant mental grasping, they are basically like heavy rocks that you just keep throwing into the water. They disturb the current, they create all this friction and resistance. The teaching suggests that if you simply remove the obstacles, if you just step aside and stop interfering so much, the water flows smoothly again. Life actually functions at its best when we stop trying to control every single inch of it. The mind may roar, but the present moment whispers. The roar is the future. It's the anxiety, it's that inner novelist mind writing tragedies. It's the exhausting need for constant control. It's loud, and it is incredibly draining. But the present moment, the actual reality of right now, is quiet. It whispers. And the more you learn to tune in and listen to that whisper, the more you realize that peace isn't something you have to go out and frantically search for. It's already within you. It was just buried beneath all that noise. Which brings us to a final question to leave you with. What is one worry you are ready to let go of today? You don't have to figure everything out all at once. You really don't have to carry the entire weight of the future on your shoulders. Just release one worry. Trust one unknown. Open your palm just a little bit today and allow life to meet you with something far better than you ever could have forced.